There's a moment in everyone's life, one you'll never forget. That moment when the world turns against you, when everything you built, everything you believed in, comes crashing down. You remember it, don't you? That silence, that crushing weight on your chest as they took it all from you. Your pride, your hope, your purpose. They didn't just hurt you. No, they left you broken, bleeding, gasping for air, with nothing but the bitter taste of defeat in your mouth. They thought it was over for you. They thought you were done. But here's the thing they didn't understand. The fight wasn't over, not even close. Pain doesn't stop you. It sharpens you. It carves away the weakness, the fear, the doubt, and it leaves behind something stronger, something unbreakable. They tried to bury you. They didn't realize you were a seed. Now, you rise. Not the same person you were before. No, that version of you is gone, stripped away by betrayal, loss, and suffering. What stands in its place is something they won't be ready for. Something cold, something relentless, something unstoppable. They say revenge isn't the answer, but let's be honest. Sometimes it is. Sometimes the only way forward is through the pain, through the betrayal, through every single person who thought they could keep you down. This is your time, your moment. You don't crawl back. You don't beg for second chances. You don't ask for permission. You take what's yours. You claw it back with bloodied hands and bruised knuckles, and you leave a trail behind you that makes them regret ever crossing you. They'll hear your name, and it'll be enough to stop their breath, because they'll know, deep down, they created you. The person you were would have given up, would have walked away. But the person you are now, that person doesn't know how to quit. That person doesn't know the meaning of surrender. They took everything from you, but they forgot one thing. They forgot who you are. You're the one who gets back up. No matter how many times they knock you down, no matter how many times the world tries to crush you, you will always get back up. And every time you do, you'll be stronger, meaner, hungrier. They think they've won. They think they've broken you, but they don't know what's coming. They don't see the fire in your eyes. They don't feel the storm building inside you. That hunger, that drive, that's the part they can't touch. That's the part they'll never take from you. You'll rebuild. You'll rise. And this time, nothing will stop you. This isn't just about getting back what you lost. This isn't just about proving them wrong. This is about becoming everything they said you couldn't be. Every insult, every betrayal, every wound they left you with. That's fuel. That's power. That's the fire that's going to burn through every obstacle in your way. They'll come for you, thinking you're the same as you were before. They'll expect the person they defeated, the one who stumbled, who fell. But they'll find someone else, someone ruthless, someone unyielding, someone who doesn't stop until the job is done. They thought they could control you. They thought they could define your story. But this story isn't theirs to write. It's yours. This is the moment they'll regret, the moment they pushed you too far. Because now, there's no going back. You've been to the edge. You've stared into the abyss. And you didn't just survive. You came back with a vengeance. There's nothing they can do now. No words, no actions, no schemes. It's too late for apologies. Too late for regret. You've already made your choice. You're coming back. And when you do, it won't be quiet. It won't be subtle. It'll be a roar. It'll be an earthquake. It'll be the kind of comeback they'll never forget. They'll try to stop you. Of course they will. They'll throw everything they have your way, hoping, praying, it's enough. But you've been through worse. You faced the dark, and you didn't flinch. You've stood alone, bleeding and broken, and you still found a way to rise. This time, you're not just coming back, you're taking over. They'll call it ruthless. They'll call it cruel. But you won't care. Because you know what it took to get here. You know what you sacrificed. You know the pain, the blood, the sleepless nights. And now, they'll know it too. They'll feel it in every step you take, every word you speak, every victory you claim. You'll remind them, every single one of them, that you're not the person they left behind. You're the storm they never saw coming. This is your biggest comeback. And when it's done, the world won't just know your name. They'll remember it forever. Because you didn't just survive. You didn't just fight. You won. And the ones who doubted you, the ones who betrayed you, the ones who thought they could break you, they'll see it. They'll know they created something they can't control, something they can't defeat. You are your greatest weapon, and this is your time. So rise, fight, and take everything they said you couldn't have. Make your biggest comeback ever, and make them remember who you are. Because when they look back, when they see the aftermath of what you've done, they won't just see the ruins of their plans. They'll see the undeniable truth that you are unrelenting, unforgiving, and unstoppable. They'll realize they weren't dealing with someone who could be crushed. They were dealing with a force of nature. You'll become the lesson they'll never forget. A lesson carved into their minds with the sharp edge of your resilience, your determination, and your unyielding hunger to rise above everything. Every move you make, every step forward, will echo with a message they'll hear loud and clear. You tried, you failed, and now it's my turn. This is the life you've chosen, not one of ease or comfort, but one of purpose. A life where setbacks aren't the end, they're the beginning. Where losses aren't defeats, they're fuel. And where failure isn't permanent, it's a foundation. You're not here to play their game anymore. You're here to rewrite the rules, to take back what's yours, and to make them regret ever doubting you. When they see you rise, they'll know they created the very thing they feared the most. You weren't just beaten, you were forged in pain, hardened by struggle, sharpened by every betrayal. And now, you're sharper than ever. You're colder, more focused, more dangerous, because you've learned something they never understood. It's not about how hard they hit you. It's about how hard you come back swinging. This comeback isn't just for you. It's for every version of yourself that was underestimated, overlooked, and pushed aside. It's for every time you were told you weren't enough. You're here to prove them wrong. And not with words. Words are meaningless to people like them. No, you'll prove it with action, with victories, with the kind of power that makes them tremble. They'll try to deny it, of course. They'll try to act like they didn't see it coming. But deep down, they'll know. They'll know they lit the spark that created the firestorm. And that firestorm is coming for everything they thought was safe. You've become something they can't stop, and they'll hate you for it. But you'll keep going, keep climbing, keep taking every step toward the life you were meant to have. Because this isn't just a comeback, it's a reckoning. This is the moment they'll fear, the moment you make them remember that you don't just survive, you dominate. You don't just rise, you conquer. So let them watch. Let them witness what happens when the underestimated becomes the unstoppable. Let them see the force they created but can never control. Because this isn't their story. It never was. It's yours. And your story doesn't end in defeat. It ends in triumph. Make your biggest comeback ever, and make them regret ever standing in your way. Because when this is over, they won't just regret standing in your way. They'll wish they had never crossed your path. They'll wish they had left you alone. But it's too late for that now, isn't it? The damage is done. They poked the beast. And now they're going to see what happens when someone who's been beaten, broken, and underestimated decides to fight back. This isn't about revenge. It's about redemption. It's about taking the pieces of who you were and building something unshakable. Something that even the hardest storms can't destroy. They'll see it in your eyes. The fire, the hunger, the refusal to quit. They'll feel the weight of every step you take toward your goals, toward the life they tried to take from you. Every move you make will be a reminder that you are not the same person they thought they could defeat. They tried to kill your spirit, but instead, they gave it purpose. They tried to silence your voice, but now it's louder than ever. They tried to take your power, but all they did was fuel it. You'll become the embodiment of resilience, the proof that no matter how many times life knocks you down, you can always rise again, not just to survive, but to thrive. They'll watch as you take back everything they thought they stole from you. They'll see you rebuild yourself from the ground up, stronger, sharper, and more unstoppable than ever. And they'll know, deep in their hearts, that they had a hand in creating the very force that now stands before them. This is what a comeback looks like. It's not a slow crawl or a quiet rise. It's an explosion. It's a force of nature reclaiming its place, unapologetically, relentlessly. They thought they could define your story, but they forgot one thing. You're the author. You hold the pen. And this chapter, this is where you remind the world who you are. So let them watch. Let them see you rise from the ashes of everything they tried to burn down. Let them see what happens when someone refuses to give up, refuses to back down, and refuses to be anything less than unstoppable. This is your moment, your time, your story. Make your biggest comeback ever. And let the world know that you were never defeated. You were just getting ready to rise. And when you rise, it won't just be to reclaim what was lost. No, it'll be to take more, to reach heights they never thought you could touch. You won't just bounce back, you'll dominate. You'll stand so tall, so unyielding, that the mere thought of challenging you again will send chills down their spines. Because comebacks aren't just about returning. They're about transformation. You won't return as the same person they pushed aside, the one they betrayed or underestimated. You'll return as something entirely different, stronger, smarter, untouchable. They'll see it in every step you take. Every time you move forward, it'll be like thunder in their ears. Every time you achieve what they swore you couldn't, it'll cut into them like a blade. And the best part? You won't say a word. You won't need to. Your actions will be louder than any scream of defiance. Your victories will echo longer than any plea for mercy. You'll let your success speak for itself. But deep down, they'll know. They'll know they were wrong about you. That all their schemes, their betrayals, their attempts to tear you apart only created someone they can't handle. someone they can't stop. You've become unstoppable because you've learned the truth about yourself, your power, your purpose. And the truth is this: the pain they inflicted, the struggles you endured, weren't meant to destroy you. They were meant to prepare you. You've been tempered like steel in a fire. Every scar, every failure, every setback has shaped you into a weapon they can't break. This is what it means to make a comeback. Not just to return, but to rise above everything and everyone who tried to keep you down. You're no longer playing their game. You've rewritten the rules, and now the game is yours to win. So let them watch as you take your place, not just as someone who survived, but as someone who thrives. Let them feel the weight of your presence, the gravity of your will. Let them understand that they never stood a chance. Not really. Because you're not just back, you're unstoppable. This is your biggest comeback ever, and it's only the beginning. When the dust settles, they'll finally understand you are not the person they left behind. You've transcended every limitation they thought defined you, and now you're something they can't comprehend. Every breath you take will remind them of their failure. Every move you make will haunt them, because they'll see it clearly now. You were never just someone to underestimate. You were the storm, gathering strength, waiting for the perfect moment to unleash everything you've become. You didn't just claw your way back from the edge. You built an empire from the rubble they left behind. You turned their doubt into drive, their betrayal into focus, their laughter into fuel. This comeback isn't about vengeance. It's about proving one undeniable truth. No one decides your story but you. They'll realize that all their efforts to stop you were wasted. Every plan, every attempt to hold you down only made you stronger. They didn't break you. They sharpened you. They didn't defeat you. They gave you the tools to rise higher than ever before. And now, here you are, standing taller, unshaken, unstoppable. Not just surviving, but thriving. They'll regret the day they ever doubted you, because you didn't just make a comeback. You redefined what it means to rise. This is your moment. The one they said you'd never have. The one they tried to take from you. And now, it's here. And there's nothing they can do to stop it. The world will remember this. Not because of what they did to you, but because of what you did in spite of it. You turned the pain into purpose, the losses into lessons, the struggles into strength. This is your story now, your fight, your victory. So stand tall. Let them watch. Let them feel the weight of their mistakes. And let them remember forever that they couldn't stop you. Because you don't just make comebacks. You make history. And history isn't written by those who gave up. It's written by those who refused to stay down, who stared into the abyss and dared to fight back. That's who you are now. A force, unrelenting and unshakable. They'll whisper your name, not in pity, but in awe. They'll speak of your rise like a legend, the one who came back stronger, harder, and more determined than anyone could have imagined. And that's the beauty of it. They never saw it coming. You turned their doubt into your armor. You made their betrayal your weapon. Every word they spoke against you, every roadblock they placed in your path, it all became the foundation of your ascent. And now, here you stand, not just a survivor, but a conqueror. Not just someone who overcame, but someone who thrived in the face of everything they threw at you. Because they didn't understand one simple truth. The fire they lit wasn't your end, It was your beginning. Let them look upon your rise and tremble. Let them see the power of someone who refused to give up, who refused to accept defeat, and who used every ounce of pain to fuel the journey forward. This is your world now, your story, your victory. You've earned every step of this journey. You fought for it, bled for it, and now you stand at the top, unshaken. Let the scars remind you of where you've been, but let your strength show them where you're going, because this comeback isn't just about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right, that no matter how dark the days became, no matter how heavy the burden, you always had it in you to rise again. This isn't just your comeback. It's your crowning moment. So take it, own it, and make sure they never forget it. You didn't just survive the storm, you became it. Now, as they stand in the shadow of what you've become, they'll feel it. The weight of your presence, the gravity of your resolve. You're not the same. You never will be. Because comebacks aren't just about regaining what was lost. They're about transformation. They're about becoming something greater than anyone thought possible. You didn't just fight back. You evolved. They'll watch in silence, unable to deny the truth standing before them. You turned their obstacles into stepping stones, their rejection into redirection, their doubt into your fuel. Every tear you shed, every ounce of pain you endured, was forged into something indestructible, something they could never break, no matter how hard they tried. You didn't just endure the fire. They didn't realize you were the one holding the match. And now, your presence speaks louder than any words ever could. They see it in your eyes. The hunger, the focus, the unrelenting will. They can feel it in the air around you, that aura of unshakable power that only comes from facing the impossible and winning. You're not here to settle old scores. You're not here for petty vengeance. You're here to claim what's yours, to take your place unapologetically, and show the world that nothing can hold you back. Because comebacks like yours don't happen in silence. They happen in thunder, in power, in undeniable, unstoppable triumph. They'll remember this day, not for what they did to you, but for what you became because of it. They'll remember it as the day they realized they were never in control. This is your moment, your legacy, your testament to what it means to rise from the ashes and become something they never saw coming. So stand tall, unshaken, and let the world know. This isn't the end of your story. This is the beginning of your reign. You didn't just come back. You came back to conquer. And nothing, no one, will ever stop you again. And as you walk forward, leaving the ruins of doubt, betrayal, and pain behind you, there's only one truth that echoes louder than anything else. You are unstoppable. Not because the world made it easy for you, but because it tried to break you, and it failed. Let them watch as you rise higher than they ever imagined, not with rage, but with purpose. You don't need revenge. Their regret will be punishment enough. You don't need validation. The proof is in your presence, in the way you've turned every failure into the foundation of your success. They'll come to understand that you don't just survive, you dominate. You don't just overcome, you redefine the game. And they'll be forced to admit the truth. They created their greatest regret when they tried to take you down. This comeback isn't just for the world to see. It's for you. It's a declaration to yourself that nothing, no matter how dark, no matter how heavy, will ever stop you again. The pain they caused, it's your power now. the losses you endured, they're lessons etched into your soul, guiding your every move. And the moments they thought you were finished, they're the spark that lit a fire they can never extinguish. Every step you take now is a reminder, not just to them, but to yourself, of how far you've come and how much further you'll go. The world doesn't get to define you. The setbacks don't get to limit you. You are limitless. And as they stand frozen, watching your ascent, you'll remind them with every move. This isn't just a comeback. This is your evolution. You've become the storm they thought they could weather, the force they thought they could contain. And now, you're here to claim everything they tried to take, and more. Because this isn't just about proving them wrong. It's about proving to yourself that no matter how hard life hits, you'll always rise harder. So let them remember you this way. Not as someone they beat, but as someone who turned the tables, rewrote the rules, and rose beyond their reach. Because this isn't just your biggest comeback. It's your greatest triumph. And it's only the beginning. As you stride forward, the air around you feels different now. Charged, alive, heavy with the weight of everything you've overcome. Every scar on your soul, every bruise on your heart, tells the story of someone who refused to be defeated. They'll see it clearly now. You didn't just rise, you ascended. Higher than their ambitions, stronger than their schemes, and beyond the grasp of their envy. You're no longer fighting to prove something to them. You've moved past their whispers, their doubts, and their games. Because this isn't about them anymore. It never really was. This is about reclaiming your own power. It's about showing the world and yourself that no storm, no betrayal, no failure could ever take away who you are at your core. You are strength. You are resilience. You are unbreakable. And now, you walk with a purpose that's impossible to ignore. Not fueled by anger, but by clarity. You know what you're here to do. You know the life you're building, step by deliberate step. Every move is precise. Every choice is intentional. Let them linger in the background, watching in silence as you rise. Let their regret gnaw at them as they realize that every attempt to tear you down only gave you the tools to rebuild into something greater. Because that's who you are now, greater. Not just in power or presence, but in understanding. In knowing that you've turned every ounce of pain into your greatest weapon. And as the days go by, they'll see it more clearly with every success you claim. You weren't just fighting to survive. You were fighting to evolve, to transform, to become something they never saw coming. This comeback isn't just a moment. It's a movement. It's a ripple that turns into a wave, a force that can't be stopped, a legacy that will be remembered. You are no longer defined by what they did to you. You're defined by what you've done, in spite of it, by how you've taken the darkest moments of your life and used them to light the path forward. They thought they could bury you, but you were a seed. And now, you've grown into something unshakable, something they'll never be able to ignore or forget. This is your time, your story, your legacy. So keep moving forward, relentlessly, unapologetically. Make every step a reminder that you don't just bounce back, you build back stronger. Because the greatest revenge isn't revenge at all. It's becoming everything they said you couldn't be, and more. And as you stand at the precipice of everything you fought for, one truth echoes louder than all the noise. You've rewritten the narrative. The chapters they thought they could close are now the very foundation of your masterpiece. Every whisper of doubt, every shadow of fear, they've become meaningless now. The world will no longer define you by your setbacks, but by the unstoppable force of your comeback. And as you move forward, there's no room for hesitation, no space for second guessing, because you've been forged in the fires of defeat, and what's left is something untouchable, something unyielding. You didn't just endure, you thrived. You didn't just rise, you soared. They'll watch as the life they tried to destroy becomes a beacon, a testament to resilience. And that beacon, it's not just for you. It's for anyone who's ever been told they weren't enough, who's ever been pushed to the brink and left to fend for themselves. You've proven it's possible to stand tall, to fight back, to rebuild from the ashes. And now, as you take your next steps, the world will feel your presence. It will see your mark, unmistakable and permanent. You are no longer the person who fell. You're the one who rose, not just once, but stronger with every fall. This is your final statement to them.